I might have found someone better than Zack Films. He has fire animations, lots of views, and really weird stories. This is low poly shorts, and I'm gonna see if he's actually better than Zack Films. Let's start off his most popular video, weirdest nuclear code proposal.
They would put the nuclear launch codes inside a capsule and then implant that capsule right next to the heart of a volunteer. That person would be given a lifetime salary to walk alongside the president while carrying a butcher knife. If the time ever came to fire the missiles, the president wouldn't turn a key or push a button. Instead, he would have to kill the volunteer with his own hands to retrieve the
Oh my gosh.
The idea was to
Oh my
force the leader
gosh.
to feel the weight of one innocent life before taking
Oh,
millions.
wait, that's so brutal. What the heck? Damn. Once you really think about it, the world is literally in the president's hand, bro. Or whatever the area he's trying to bomb. I used to believe this was a great idea until I remembered it relies on politicians not being psychopaths. Yep.
He put on special glasses that would make him see the world upside down to see
What?
what would happen to his brain if he didn't take them off for 124
124 days. That's a lot, bro.
He was helpless, constantly tripping over ceiling lights that appeared to be on the floor and reaching for cups that weren't there. But by the third month, his brain had adapted and flipped the image back up so well that
What?
he could actually ride a motorcycle without crashing.
No way.
When he finally took the glasses off, the real world still looked upside down for him for a few minutes. So if you feed your brain a lie long enough, it eventually becomes your reality.
Oh, hey, manifestation, yo, I gotta lie, low poly shorts, he might be better than Zack Films, bro. I like these life lessons that he's giving us. Like, honestly, you gotta fake it until you make it. Be delusional to your goal. But the lie didn't become his reality. His brain fixed it so while it was receiving a lie, it knew the truth the whole time, and eventually fixed his conscious to perceive the truth behind the lie. Taking the glasses have only confused the brain temporarily because it needed to adjust to filtering his sight normally again. Zack Films in 1990. Yo, that's probably the most accurate description of low poly shorts.
When a tiny anglerfish male finds a female he wants
Oh.
to mate with, he bites her immediately. His
Wait. Let's take a look real quick. Look at the size difference, bro. Damn, bro. Yo, if I was an anglerfish, I do not want to be dominated, bro.
He bites her immediately. His mouth
Oh.
tissue fuses to her skin, locking him in place. His blood vessels then start connecting to hers, getting all his
Yo.
nutrients directly from her body.
Hey, this is this is a whole, yo, I ain't gonna lie, these anglerfish are on a whole nother of freak. Like, bruh,
His eyes fade,
biting?
his stomach shrinks, and even his brain starts to break down. His own organs begin to shut down. He doesn't need to eat or see anymore, and before you know it, he's basically a living reproductive organ. Whenever she's ready to release eggs, whatever's left of him provides sperm instantly.
Hey, man, bro, I ain't gonna lie, if humans were like this, bro, yeah, I would like jump off a cliff. Like, oh, low-key, this is kind of like praying mantises mating, where basically a female would literally bite the head of a male mantis. What are we doing? I can fix it, bro. See you next week. How I find bro next week? This day I find homeboy, and after he dates the Hello Kitty girl, bro. Nah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I frick with this guy's shorts, bro. Honestly, this is like a refreshment from Zack Films.
They would take a flap of skin from the
Oh.
patient's arm and stitch it directly onto
What
their
the
mangled
hell?
nose while it was still attached to their arm. They would then force the patient into a rigid leather harness that locked their arm against their face for weeks. You see, if they were to cut the skin off the arm before putting it on the nose, it would quickly decay and fall off because there's no blood going into it. By keeping the arm attached, the arm's blood supply kept the skin alive until it latched on and grew its own vessels. So by the time they cut the connection, they ended up with a brand new nose made from their own arm.
What the hell, bro? Yo, this is low-key some like voodoo stuff. This technique is known as the Italian method. Of course, the Italians, bro. I legit thought this was a medieval torture method. I mean, low-key, it kind of looks like it, but hey, I mean, if y'all want to ever get a nose, this is what y'all gotta do. This is like the DIY.
They cut a hole into the side of a healthy cow and fit a plastic ring with a lid into the opening,
Yo, what are we
a
doing?
permanent window into its stomach.
What are we doing, bro? Yo, I'm gonna lie, humans are low-key, like, really evil.
Once it heals, vets can open the lid and reach their entire arm inside. You see, the mush inside is actually a gold mine of healthy bacteria. Knowing this, they would pull it out and feed it to a sick cow that's having trouble
Oh, wait,
digesting
hold
food.
up.
This jumpstarts the sick cow's digestive system, saving its life.
Oh, okay, never mind, my I'm sorry, bro. This is why you never judge a book by the cover, bro. Because literally, I thought they're about to do like this window and a cow thing just because, you know what I mean? I mean, low-key humans are like that sometimes. But hey, I did not know this was a good thing to help other sick cows. How come the healthy cow isn't getting an infection just from using the lid? It's probably like sterilized thoroughly and stuff. Yeah, something like that.
If you tape half a ping pong ball over each of your eyes, shine a red light on your face, and then play static for a few minutes, you will lose your mind. You see, this setup blocks out anything from the outside, overwhelming your senses and putting you in a state where your brain actually panics so much from the lack of information that it would start making stuff up. Your mind would try filling in the void with random images, hallucinations like horses in the clouds, or hearing voices in your head.
Wake up.
Wait, low-key, I gotta lie, bro, if I'm ever bored and I have ping pong balls around, I might do this. I gotta lie, it does sound so interesting, bro. It sounds like you're on like a trippy shroom effect or something. That one unemployed friend on a Tuesday, bro. I gotta lie, low poly shorts comments are way better than Zack Films. Like the Zack Films comments are like bots. I'm not even joking, but these, I like it. They're interesting.
They took hundreds of thousands of brain cells from humans and mice and placed them in a petri dish. They then wired those neurons to a computer running a simple version of Pong. You see, they wanted to prove that even without a body, brain cells could learn from mistakes and solve problems. They received tiny signals telling them exactly where the ball was. If the neurons hit it, the system rewarded them with a clear signal they liked. But if they missed, the neurons were blasted with random noise they didn't like. It wasn't long before the neurons started. In fact, this biological intelligence figured out the game faster than AIs trained the same way.
Yo, these facts are like low-key so much better than Zack Films. Never would realize that your brain is basically a mini computer that just operates your body. Pretty much, bro.
A giant sunfish at an aquarium suddenly stopped
Yo.
for seemingly no reason. It just floated around, rubbing against the glass like something was wrong. The staff checked if it was sick, but found nothing. That's until one of them noticed something strange. The sunfish only started acting like this after the aquarium closed when no one was coming to see it anymore. This meant it wasn't sick.
It's just lonely.
So the staff printed photos of people's faces, stuck them on uniforms, and placed them in front of the tank. The next day, the sunfish started waving its fins like it was happy to see them, and eating like never before.
Hey, as long as you're happy, bro. And then, yeah, honestly, that's like literally like the main thing. Like, as long as bro happy, hey, he's happy. Okay, but the sunfish model is so cute. Yeah, bro, look at that. Like, little smile right here, bro.
As scientists were drilling 100 feet into the Siberian permafrost, they suddenly hit a layer of ice that hadn't seen the sun in 30,000 years.
30,000 years.
Inside that frozen tomb, they discovered an ancient virus bigger than any other virus in the world. When they warmed it up in the lab, it woke up from its 300-century-long nap, and it immediately began to hunt and infect the microscopic amoeba nearby. Luckily, it didn't infect humans or animals, but we don't know what else could be hiding under there.
Oh, hell no, bro. Some things just should rest in slumber, y'all.
She died over 70 years ago, but her flesh is still alive and has been growing non-stop ever since.
What?
She went to the hospital in 1951 because she felt a painful lump inside her.
A tumor?
Doctors detected she had a tumor and secretly sliced off a piece to study it. But
Secretly? What you mean secretly? Was this without consent?
when they put it in a petri dish, they stumbled upon a 1 in a million miracle. Instead of withering away after a few days like normal tissue, her cells kept dividing every day, effectively growing forever. Knowing this, they quickly took chunks of the tumor as it grew and shipped its cells to every major lab on the planet for testing. So if you took all the flesh that ever came from her, past and present, it would be as massive as one of the pyramids.
Yo, that's kind of scary, bro. This feels like something the SCP Foundation would have. Yeah, something like that, bro. Infinite food glitch, nobody is ready for it. Ooh. I would not want to eat a human, bro. Even if I'm like surviving in the wild and I'm super hungry, bro, I couldn't do it. Now I know why Walmart never runs out of meatballs, bro. It's that Arby's meat, y'all. This is what they be using.
As Michael Jackson was getting ready to step on stage, the crew was busy setting the pyrotechnics that were supposed to go off safely behind him.
Safely.
When he walked toward his mark, the effect suddenly triggered too soon, exploding on top of him before he was anywhere near ready. The blast sent a shower of sparks straight into his head, but he kept performing without realizing he was on fire. By the time the flames reached his scalp and people rushed over, the burns were already too severe, leaving him with a permanent bald spot that never healed properly and had to be covered with wigs and extensions until the day he passed away.
What? Damn, bro. I'm gonna lie, Michael Jackson has like so much aura, but now knowing this, he lost some. After that, he donated a significant amount to a hospital that treated fire victims. Yo, my man, he's in, bro.
The man walked into the bank with lemon juice smeared all over his face. He paused for a moment at the door, as if checking the cameras. Then he pointed a gun at the teller, demanded the money, and watched as it was counted. He grabbed the cash and walked out, confident he was in the clear. But later that night, police had crystal clear photos of the robbery. When they showed him, he froze.
But I wore the lemon juice.
So I wore the lemon juice, buddy. Let's move.
He said, turns out that for some strange reason, he believed lemon juice made him invisible to the cameras, since it was also used to make invisible ink.
Not the smartest robber, y'all. It was actually so stupid that scientists did a research on how people could be so confident on their own theories, bro. I don't think that's crystal clear, bro. Facts.
David Vetter was no ordinary boy. He was born with a rare condition that left him without an immune system, which meant even the smallest germ in the air could be deadly. To keep him safe, doctors built a sealed plastic chamber where he spent most of his life. Inside, he had toys, a bed, even a TV, all sterilized. But he could never hug his mom or touch the outside world. Any physical contact he had was through the gloves attached to the chamber. NASA even built him a special suit so he could walk and play outside, but he only used it 6 times. A bone marrow transplant gave him hope of living like a normal boy, but hidden inside the donor's marrow was an undetected virus.
Oh, no.
The virus spread quickly, causing hundreds of tumors. He spent his last days with family outside the bubble, finally free for the first time. He passed away at just 12 years old.
Nah, bro, that's so sad. Bro, I did not realize the effect. Like, I knew he couldn't go outside, right? But if he did go outside and catch a little virus or whatever, bro, like, had 100 tumors growing inside of him. Oh, that's so unfortunate. The sad part is that his donor was his sister. Oh my, nah, the guilt his sister must felt, bro. No, not only do we have interesting facts, we got sad, emotional stories, y'all. Is he better than Zack Films? We'll see by the end of this video.
A man was pulled over by police one night, but when he was asked to take a breathalyzer test, his reading came back at a life-threatening 0.91% blood alcohol level, over 4 times Belgium's legal limit of 0.22. But there was one problem. The man hadn't had a drop of alcohol, and as impossible as it sounded, he was telling the truth.
What?
Officers didn't hesitate to arrest him, since it seemed he was drunk behind the wheel. Not only that, but he had his license suspended for the same offense a few years earlier. This time, however, doctors began to look closer. They discovered he suffered from a rare condition called Auto-brewery syndrome. His gut was
He makes beer inside of his stomach. And I'm just a little guess.
full of special bacteria that were literally turning carbs like bread and rice into alcohol, enough to intoxicate him without a single drink. After the charges were dropped, he went on a low-carb diet to prevent his gut from making any...
I don't think this is... that's right. Okay, but anyways. Nah, that's so unfortunate, bro. So he just thought that being drunk was totally a normal thing after eating bread. Pfft.
Pieces of red meat started falling from the sky.
Without even a chance of meatballs? Literally.
About the size of a hand, and people said they looked like beef. Some even tasted them, saying it might be lamb or deer. Others argued it wasn't even meat at
Human
all,
meat.
a clump of bacteria. And when some of the scientists of the time tested the samples, they discovered it was the muscles, cartilage, and lung tissues of possibly a horse or even a human. But the most accepted theory by experts is that a flock of vultures flying overhead had suddenly vomited midair, showering the ground below.
Yeah, but it wouldn't be that much. Like, only a couple vultures or something. Like, not a whole, like, amount to show that it's, like, raining meatballs. Certified loop while I wipe my ass short.
A man was tired of being broke, so he set out on a quest to trade a single paperclip for bigger and
Yeah, this
better
might be
things
Gary Vee,
until
y'all.
He traded something for a house. He started by trading the paperclip.
Okay, yo, I'm gonna lie. This guy is proving that being broke is not an option, bro. Bro is about to trade a paperclip for a house. You guys have no excuses.
For a fish-shaped pen. He flipped the pen for a hand-sculpted doorknob, swapped the doorknob for a camping stove, and traded the stove for a generator. He
Oh
then
my
traded the generator for a rare neon sign with a keg, which he swapped for a snowmobile. He traded the snowmobile for a trip to British Columbia, the trip for a cube van, and the van for a music recording contract. He swapped the contract for a year's rent in Arizona,
What?
rent for an afternoon with a famous singer, and he traded that for a rare motorized snow globe.
Okay, wait, there's no way. What is this?
Then
How is
traded
this
the
so
snow
rare?
globe to a collector for a role in a Hollywood movie, and finally, he traded the movie role for a 2-story farmhouse.
Bro's him. Trading a year's rent for an afternoon with a singer is crazy, yeah. Bro is the definition of a wandering trader, bro.
He gave a bag of coal to each of his kids for Christmas. When they instantly
Naughty,
burst into
naughty.
tears, he told them that Santa was wrong and promised he would sort it out personally with him. But this was the start of his master plan. You see, once the stores opened back up in January, he bought exactly what they asked for at half the price. This made the kids think he was a legend and Santa was a jerk, while allowing him to buy all the presents with no crowds and post-holiday discounts.
Shit! 200 IQ, bro. I like these people, man. These people that we're seeing in low poly shorts, yo, they're fire. I really like it. Dad had an ace up his sleeve, bro. He's just playing for the long-term game, bro.
They took the DNA of a spider and microscopically
Spider-Man?
injected it into the embryo of a goat. That modified embryo was then placed into a surrogate mother, where it developed just like any normal goat. You see, scientists needed to find a way to harvest spider silk, which is as strong as steel. But they couldn't farm the spiders themselves because they would end up taking each other out. So they genetically engineered goats to carry the spider's silk-producing gene. Their milk would come out with the same proteins as spider silk, where they would then be collected, purified, and spun into a strong, lightweight fiber.
Yo, no, like once you really think about it, it's so amazing how, yo, we are so like destructive and creative at the same time. Yo, who thinks of like, yo, you know what? Let me put the DNA of a spider into a goat, boom, and so now it can milk out spider juice. You know what I mean? Like, bro, like what? The genetically altered goat didn't suffer any particular harm as a result of it, as far as anyone can tell. Jeez. Spider goat does whatever a spider goat does. Yeah, you know what? I had enough of low poly shorts. So the final question is he better than Zack D Films? He's on par. I'm gonna lie. I love the content. I love the style. It's really refreshing from Zack D Films. If you guys want to see more content like this, click this video here.